right, chapter 3, how our emotions organize our environment. What is the essence of that chapter?
Yeah, this is so interesting. And when I was reading the studies for this book, Rena, I was just blown away. When I began the book, the way the book got going was my wife is just a wonderful human being. And I just feel so incredibly lucky to be married. I call her my angel wife. And
Oh,
she is just such a, I mean, she just walks into a room. Like we often, she doesn't speak during any of our workshops. She just walks into a room and everyone just feels good because she has such incredibly powerful, positive energy. And so but she does it deliberately as well. Like when she's driving around in her car, she works as a teacher, teaches art to kids, and she puts CDs in the CD player of her car, and she listens to the teachings of Abraham Hicks, and
mm,
that's just her spiritual nurturing. And so I'd be in her car every once in a while. She was driving, and I'd be in the car, and there'd be the CD playing, and Abraham Hicks is saying, "Thoughts create things." And I would think, oh, that's just a metaphysical fantasy. I'm a scientific researcher. I don't think there's any validity in that. But I began to wonder, well, maybe thoughts, in some ways, obviously, if I think negatively, I am changing my hormones, my stress hormones, my brain waves, and so on. So I began to really delve into this, and I thought I would look at all the links in the chain of evidence between a thought and a thing, and see if I could prove scientifically that thoughts do become things. I thought I would actually probably not find all those links. I thought I'd find some links, but I'd find a broken chain. And in Mind to Matter, there are no broken links. I was able to find the scientific evidence for every single step in the transition from a thought to a thing. It was just an amazing
could
process.
you give
So,
an example?
uh, yeah, there are so many examples in the book of people healing themselves, healing their relationships, healing their relationship with money, and one of the dramatic examples comes from my friend Beth Meisner, who's written a book now about her experience. So Beth was diagnosed last year with cancer. She found a large lump on top of her right breast. And when it was eventually measured, it was about 5 centimeters in diameter. So this is a really big lump, hard cancerous mass. And when the doctors found it, she was given a variety of scans. The scans found that all of the lymph nodes under her right arm had filled up with cancer cells. And that's really bad news because your lymph system goes all around your body. It's like your blood flow. And when the cancer gets into the lymph nodes, it can travel all over the body. They also found 3 spots of inflammation on her right lung. So it looked as though the cancer was spreading, and a very serious diagnosis. And she was being treated at MD Anderson Cancer Clinic, which is one of the top cancer
Yes.
hospitals in the whole world. And it was the morning of the day when her doctor showed her the scan and showed her what her condition was. And her oncologist said, "I want you in radiation today, not tomorrow or next week. It's the morning. I want you in radiation this afternoon. It's that serious." And Beth said to her oncologist, who was very supportive of this, said, I don't want to make a rapid decision. I'm going to go home and I'm going to just do some processing around this before I elect treatment. So she went home, did some processing around her diagnosis, and
Cue suspense
dramatic
music.
pause. She decided to try energy healing first. Now, this is really important because a lot of people go and they try Reiki and they try EFT and they try things after they have gone through an aggressive course of chemotherapy, and their immune system is really weak at that point. It's really hard to do energy healing with them. In fact, Bill Bengston, the guy with the cancer healing in mice, he actually won't work with people who've been through conventional treatment because their immune systems are often so badly compromised, he can't do much for them with energy healing. But anyway, Beth decided to do energy healing first. So she absolutely tackled it with the determination that is her hallmark. She cleaned up her diet, which is pretty good, but she made it excellent after that. Diet, her exercise routine, she improved that. She turned off all her alerts. She quit watching the news. She quit being involved in charitable work. She did a lot of, but some of it was stressful. So she just resigned from all the boards she was a member of. She watched her thoughts, watched her energy. She did intensive Qigong. She emailed me and phoned me and she said, I'm really scared. I just got a gene test and I have 8 defective genes that predispose me to breast cancer. And I said, well, Beth, you have 24,000 genes that are in perfect shape. Let's work with those.
Yeah.
We did some surrogate work with Beth. Christine was the surrogate for my wife. Christine was the surrogate for Beth. We did some EFT tapping and visual imagining for her. Beth did Qigong intensively. She got energy work done to her. So all this powerful stuff of shifting her energy and again, focusing on energy solutions to a material problem, tumor, lymph nodes, and spots on the lung. So in March of last year, she got the diagnosis. By May of last year, the tumor had shrunk by about 2/3, and her lymph nodes were clear. By August, her blood test showed no trace of cancer. So that is the power of energy to heal the physical body. And that's why I'm so passionate about getting this stuff to people. You know, we talked earlier, and I talked to Beth about a month ago about this, is that energy is powerful. Energy is healing. And people go so quickly to looking for material solutions and neglect the energy dimension of their problem. But often that Qigong, that EFT tapping, that energy work can make a dramatic change to the physical body. The work of Harold Saxton Burr in the 40s with those women with uterine cancer shows us that it's the energy that goes wrong first, and then things show up in the physical body. So when you get that diagnosis, go to energy first. How can you shift and change and alter that energy in which your cells are being formed? Each second, I show you in the book, each second, 810,000 new cells are born in your body. If they are being born in the energy environment of love and compassion and kindness and beauty and intelligence and wisdom and generosity, that is a very different energy field than one of fear and stress and anger and blame and resentment. So our emotions, in chapter 3, I show how our emotions are literally turning genes off, turning genes on. In one EFT study, the researcher found that 72 genes were turned on by 1 hour of EFT. And those genes included genes for that fight breast cancer, prostate cancer, esophageal cancer, colon cancer. Those genes were all being upregulated, dialed up. Immune system genes were being dialed up. Genes that have to do with forming the myelin sheaths around the white matter in your brain, the insulator around your neurons, which they need to have to conduct information through the axons. The white matter remodeling neurons, those genes were being turned on. Memory and learning genes were being turned on. Immunity genes were being turned on. Genes that help your body combat inflammation were being turned on. 72 genes turned on by 1 hour of an energy therapy, tapping on acupressure points, doing EFT. This is amazing. I mean, if I had a drug that could do all that, I would be a billionaire rather than holding bake sales to raise money for my nonprofit to do the research. You know, it's not a drug, it's free. It's just, they're on the web, they're on my website. I mean, this stuff, it's amazing. It's available. And we want to make sure that people know that they can use energy to heal matter.
And that is why we're doing these interviews. That's the whole purpose of Healthier, the podcast, is to give a voice to healers like yourself that have done the research, that have the proof. And this information, you are absolutely right, must get out to everyone. So if you're listening to this podcast or watching these interviews, please share. Every one of us knows someone who has cancer. There's just no question about it. And most of us know someone who's actually passed away of cancer. So please, you'll be doing something amazing today. If you share this, share it on your social media or specifically with those people that you know could benefit the most. And I know we're talking about scary things like cancer, but it can actually transform your life on a daily basis where it can get you out of depression. I actually think we need to start teaching teens that, but I think that's another podcast. I think the reason, Dawson, we don't have enough of this in our daily lives, the reason we don't first go to energy is because that's not how we're raised. We're told the first thing you do is you go to your doctor. And your doctor will tell you what to do, and you just blindly do what your doctor tells you. That was me until 2 years ago. right? So until the age of 45, I thought that's how you healed yourself, is you called the doctor. And then the doctor did. And now what you're sharing, what I've learned is that no, we heal ourselves. Healing is within, and we can be reborn healthier within a year. To your point, you can activate all those genes and you can be reborn. Every new cell can be reborn healthier, which is remarkable. What a great power to have inside of us.
Yeah, I call that your everyday superpower in the book Mind to Matter. In the book, I call it your everyday superpower. You're literally able, with your consciousness, you're shifting neurotransmitters, you're shifting hormones, you're shifting genes, you're remodeling your body based purely on thought alone. So you may as well wake up, orient yourself with positive energy, give your 810,000 new cells being born every second, that loving energy field, nurturing energy field, and then live your life that way. When you do, you feel better, you're much healthier. In some of the research I talk about in the book, people measure a 400% improvement in productivity at work, a 260% improvement in problem-solving ability, and a doubling of creativity. These are just phenomenal results. And again, they're just based on energy, shifting your energy.